Someone's in the kitchen with Bonnie. Yum.
Hey, welcome to Bonnie's Kitchen. Someone's in the kitchen with Bonnie, and today that someone's you. And boy, are you lucky. It's chocolate day. We're getting ready for St. Valentine's Day, so we're going to make a couple of really fun chocolate things today. And the cool thing is they're both very easy to make and they're very impressive. We're going to start off with bourbon chocolate truffles. I know that sounds real fancy, but it's so simple. And we're going to start adding things to our pan right off the bat. We have 3/8 of a cup of brown sugar. And for those of you that don't have 1/8 cups, that's 6 tablespoons. We have a 1/4 cup of evaporated milk. A pinch of salt. Do you know how much that is? People always ask, how much is a pinch? I learned this in culinary school. It's 1/8 of a teaspoon. Learn something new every day. And cane syrup. Now I made this yesterday, so it's equal amounts of sugar and water, just like you're making a simple syrup, only you let it cook a little bit longer so it's kind of thick. You can see it's a little bit thicker than normal simple syrup, which is quite liquidy. Okay, we're going to take this over to the stove and we're going to cook this up till it's nice and melty and the sugar is all dissolved. Do a medium-high heat. So today I'm using bittersweet and semi-sweet chocolate in this once we get around to that part. And they're really pretty much interchangeable. The recipe calls for bittersweet. I didn't have 5 ounces. I only had 4 ounces of bittersweet, but I had some semi-sweet in the cupboard. So we're using that. 1 ounce of semi-sweet and 4 ounces of bittersweet. So we're going to bring this to a boil and let it cook for about a minute. And then we're going to add the bourbon and the vanilla. Since we're making such a small batch, it comes to temperature pretty quickly. Now you'll want to make this either really early in the day or the day before, because it needs to chill for at least 2 hours before we roll it into little balls for the candy, for the confection. Boiling away here. I tried it once with white sugar. It didn't work as well. Alrighty. There we go. Looks good. Okay. Now we'll add the booze. So that's 2 tablespoons of bourbon and a teaspoon of vanilla. Ooh, that smells good. Okay, next goes the chocolate. So I use really good quality chocolate, I think, for this kind of candy. Ghirardelli, which is we can find at most any grocery store. And chop it up good and fine. You'll want to do this pretty fine so it melts quickly. I suppose you could use chocolate chips, the little ones. But this is a better quality chocolate. And let's face it, if you're going to be making chocolate, you might as well go all the way and use the good stuff. I used Maker's Mark bourbon and real vanilla. I don't use fake vanilla. I use real vanilla in here. Alrighty. Put that in there. Let it sit for a minute. Until it's melted, and then we'll stir that up. I'm going to put that in a glass container, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for 2 hours minimum. But as I did this, as I prepped yesterday, it's been in the refrigerator overnight. I can't wait. I can't wait to scoop it and make delicious candies with you. Alrighty, it's coming together. Nice and smooth. And when you make this at home and you're putting it in the vessel, make sure you use a spatula to get all the goodness out. I unfortunately don't have mine within easy reach. And there's an ulterior motive. There'll be more for me to lick out of this pan later. Alrighty. That's pretty quick and simple so far. I'm sure you'll agree. Pop it in the fridge. I'm going to let it come up to room temperature before I do that. But meanwhile, I took this one out of the refrigerator just a few minutes ago. Alrighty. It's nice and hard. Okay. I have a bowl of warm water. And I'm using a little tiny scoop. We'll see if that works. Most of the time I just use a spoon. We shall see. Forgot the most important part. Doesn't get much easier than that, does it? I'll make a couple of these so there's enough for the crew. Alexa agrees.
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Oh boy. Now, this recipe says it makes 40. This is not going to make 40. Not for me. I think they need to be about this size. Now, they can be refrigerated after this if you want them to harden up a little bit more. Not necessary, but one more. There we go. Plate these and put them on a little serving platter. I'll make some more in a little bit. And you know what these would go good with? A little French hot chocolate. So I think we should make that next. Lovely. Okay. Truffles. Aren't they gorgeous? Well, my plate's a little messy. My chef instructors would not be happy, but they're delicious, and let's face it, when you're eating chocolate, who cares? Okay. I'm going to move this to the side. We're going to get started on our next thing, which is French hot chocolate. This is another very easy recipe. Oops. I've already chopped up our chocolate. This is 8 ounces of chocolate, 1 3/4 cups of milk, and a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. My pan. Alrighty. The thing about this recipe that's so easy is it all goes into the pan at the same time, and it's stirred over the heat until the chocolate is melted, and it has to come to a nice consistency. It's not pudding-ish, but it's thicker than what we normally consider for hot chocolate. So let's get this over here. Now, our friend CJ Sorensen asked me about additives. One of the things that she likes to make during the cold winter months, which is very chilly in here today, it's called a snuggler, I believe that's it. And it's a cup of hot chocolate with a shot of peppermint schnapps and some whipped cream on top. That would be, I think, a little bit much for this hot chocolate because this is so thick. Not quite fondue-ish, but it tends to be a little on the thicker side. I had a cup of this when I had the opportunity to travel to Europe, and I wasn't prepared for it to be as thick as it was, so I thought that actually there was something wrong with it at first. But then I noticed everyone else was stirring theirs in the same manner that I was. And when I got to the very end of it, there was a whole piece of chocolate sitting in the bottom just as part of the drink. It was so marvelous. I went back every day. Yeah, chocolate's pretty special. And for Valentine's Day, there's a huge, huge amount of chocolate that's consumed by us here in the United States. And the other big thing is Valentine's Day cards. I'm not sure they are as much as they were when I was a kid, but we used to give Valentine's cards to everybody in our classrooms. And then when we were teenagers, well, then we gave them to everybody on the planet, it seemed. I don't think they do that much anymore. And now you can send things through email. Okay, this is starting to melt very nicely. One thing that you will need to be sure of when you're making this French chocolate is that you continually stir it so that the chocolate doesn't sit to the bottom and burn. This is not a diet beverage by any stretch. All the chocolate and the sugar and the heavy cream. St. Valentine's Day started off as a religious thing, a religious holiday. There were 2 people named Valentine that were both executed, and the Catholic Church made them martyrs and made them saints, and started calling it St. Valentine's Day. And then the Americans decided it needed a little more lighthearted approach, and then it became more of a chocolate and a romantic holiday. I didn't look it up, but I have heard that the percentage of people that get engaged on Valentine's Day versus any other day of the year is remarkably weighted. We're getting there. And we want to get this good and hot, but not boiling. Bring it right up to that. If you didn't want to roll the chocolates in cocoa powder, you could roll it in chopped nuts. Pistachios would be good. Or you could also roll it in coconut. Coconut and chocolate goes well. I think there's a candy bar. I think it's a Mounds bar that has chocolate and coconut. And again, hot chocolate can be enhanced with alcohol. Lovely. Getting close. Alrighty, let's put this in a cup. Now, I am not normally a fancy pants girl, and I would normally drink this out of a mug. But as we're in a commercial kitchen and I don't have access to my stuff at home, we're going to use a fancy pants cup that I happen to have here. Beautiful china cup. Oops. Boy, I made a mess. It's like a real person. Okay. Wish you could smell this. It's so good. Wow. What a burst of flavor in that. Yeah, peppermint schnapps might work in this. And a little truffle. Gonna ruin my dinner for sure. A double whammy. Wow. It's so good. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And then I hope you share chocolate and love with all the people around you. Thanks for being here. See you soon.
Oh my goodness. This is your finger looking good. Oh.
Yeah.
It's orgasmic, actually.
Oh. Can we say that?
We can, because God invented it.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.